Hi guys, and welcome back to Rainbow Tarot UK. If you've watched my previous videos, then thank you very much. I really appreciate you watching them. If you've liked them, then I would say thank you. I know I've had somebody subscribe in the last week or two. A very special thank you to that person. And if you're new, then welcome to my channel. And I hope you enjoy the readings that I'm going to offer today. And also, if you want to check out any of my other readings that I've done, then you might find those really helpful and useful as well. So if you like today's video, it'd be absolutely brilliant if you could just press the like button and of course subscribe, because then you'll be alerted to any future videos that I'm going to upload. So without further ado, today's video is, and I really want to do today's video because I think it's a great topic, is what does or how would your best friend describe you? You know, what makes you you? What makes you stand out? Who are you? So that's what we're going to be looking at today. So I've got 3 piles for you. I've got pile number 1, and just to let you know what I've done today is, because the court cards in the tarot often describe people, they can be used to describe people and different energies, if you like. I did initially take the court cards out, and also the Empress and the Emperor of this particular deck that I'm using, and if I get a chance I'll make sure that I put my decks that I'm using for today's video in the description box. And I shuffled those, and these were the 3 characters, if you like, that came out. Now, it doesn't have to be man or woman. We're looking at energies really here. So you could be a man or a woman, and you could still be the Queen of Swords. It's the sort of energy that we're looking at. So pile number 1 is, as I said, the Queen of Swords. That is pile number 1. Pile number 2 is the Page of Swords. And then pile number 3 is the Emperor. So those are our 3 piles for today. Now, what I've also done, and what I'm introducing in today's video, is something called, and you may already be aware of this, there's a form of colour therapy, or a colour system that you can use for healing and self-awareness, called Aura-Soma colour therapy. And it's a whole system in its own right, but part of it does correspond to the tarot. And I have some what we call inspiration cards, and these inspiration cards are the cards that correspond to your choosing cards. So for the Queen of Swords, this is also the Queen of Swords in the Aura-Soma inspiration pack. Okay, so I might just turn it out that way as well. Okay, so that is the Queen of Swords. So that you might also want to pick with that one. This is the Page of Swords in the inspiration pack. And then this is, let's put them up there. And then this is the Emperor in the inspiration pack, the Aura-Soma inspiration pack. So you might also want to go for that. So take a moment to choose which pile you want to, or which pile you feel the most drawn to, which pile is sort of calling to you, I suppose, and then that is the one for you. So hopefully you've chosen, and I will see you in your reading. Hi, pile number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Queen of Swords pile, and this is the 2 depictions of the Queen of Swords here. And I've got your other cards here that I'm going to lay out in a moment. So let's move our candles out of the way there, and then let's lay our cards down. So this is the Queen of Swords here. So I think the first thing, I'm just going to start by talking about the Queen of Swords. So in terms of you as, you know, like a personality, or maybe how your friend, your best friend, would describe you, I'm seeing you initially as somebody who is very much in charge of their life, so very much in control of things. You might actually be a manager, or somebody has some kind of authority. You're certainly somebody that people look up to, that people respect, that people, you know, can rely upon, can depend upon. Swords is also about somebody who has a very, very good, sharp mind. So I would see you as being someone who is great in any kind of role where you're giving information, where you're processing information, where you're analysing, where you're doing anything around communication. You are probably brilliant in that kind of role, and you know, I would see you as somebody who's very, very, very bright and intelligent, somebody who knows how to speak their mind and speak their truth, and because of that, people respect you. They respect you and admire you because you know what you like, what you don't like. So it's also somebody who's got very good boundaries. You know, they're not going to put up with any wishy-washy behaviour with people that aren't, you know, behaving correctly, or what you would see as behaving correctly. You would soon put somebody in their place if you're not happy with the way they're behaving, and you are very direct in that way. So you are clear, concise, direct. You have very good boundaries, so people know exactly where they stand with you. There is no, you know, there is no room for any kind of misconceptions. You just sort of say it like it is, and people respect that, and so you command that kind of respect. So like I say, in any kind of managerial role, or role where you're in charge of people, they know that you are the boss, and you know that there's, you know, there's a line that they don't cross with you. Now, the Queen of Swords can also talk about someone who, you know, emotionally has been or has gone through life and experienced certain hurts, maybe disappointments, and so that has made them, you know, quite rightly, they are cautious. So they're not somebody who trusts easily, and their heart is something which they treasure and protect at all costs. So this is somebody who is not going to be there spilling out all of their emotions and how they feel about things. They are intuitive. I do think the Queen of Swords is very intuitive, and they can pick up on things, but they're not somebody that's going to be spilling out their emotions and their feelings. And you know, also they, you know, they're not everybody's best friend, in the sense that they're very discerning about who they connect with and who they don't connect with, purely as well because they can see through anyone who is false. They can see through anyone who's deceiving themselves or deceiving others. They see the truth very clearly. And so that means they do not, again, trust people very easily. Yeah, and they may have been disappointed, as I said, in the past, which makes them even more wary. And so this is someone who's very discerning, knows how, you know, to smell any kind of dodgy stuff that's going on around them, and will not align themselves to anything or anyone who is not honest, truthful, respectful, clear, you know, knows themselves well. This is a person who knows themselves well, and they like to be around certain other people that also reflect that kind of energy. They're not interested in any mind games or any playing any games. They're just direct, really. So that means that sometimes maybe that they, you know, they're not always as approachable, maybe, as maybe others, but that's okay because they're happy. They're happy to be in their own company. They're comfortable with being in their own company. They don't have a problem with it. And also they're just comfortable with knowing that they only connect and align with people that resonate in that way, in the way that I've just described. And that, that they can have a good conversation with them, that they can connect with them mentally, that that other person communicates well. So they're very, very clear and like to be around people that are also clear and honest and discerning. They have that kind of presence to them. I would say they're probably more on the, although they're in positions of authority and can be somebody that's in charge, even if they might not actually be in charge. Often they may feel that they take on that role anyway. So they're kind of seen as that somebody that you could depend on. But I would say as a personality, they're quite, unless they're around really good friends, they're probably quite introverted. They don't, like I say, they don't go around, they're not everybody's mate really. They're quite introverted, they're quite introspective, and they're just very intelligent as well. So that's the kind of personality they are. Now, the other thing to say is that with this card, interestingly, I don't know if you can see that, I hope you can see it. It's like I say, it's the Aura-Soma Inspiration card that is also the card that corresponds to the Queen of Swords. And if you can see it, it's a beautiful pink. It's a beautiful pink colour. Pink and pale, very pale pink and white. Now, pale pink or pink in Aura-Soma, like in a lot of colour therapy, it relates to love and soft emotions. And the paler the colour, actually, or in Aura-Soma, is the more intense, really. So I would say that, and it does go with the Queen of Swords, that just because she is maybe possibly looked, she's quite protective around her heart, maybe because of experiences before. It doesn't mean that she doesn't have her heart, or that she's not in herself and with her closest friends connected to that heart. And I would say this card shows that very well. She has a very soft side inside her. It's just that you have to, if there's some, if you're around her, you have to work hard for her to show you that, because she's not just gonna wear her heart on her sleeve. You have to prove that you are worthy of this softer side to her. So I would say you definitely have a soft side. You are definitely connected to your emotions. You're probably very kind inwardly, and you are, you have compassion and love within you, definitely. And this, but it's not something that you show always to the world. Obviously, you're not gushing in that respect, but you definitely have it, and it's definitely there. And it's something that the people around you that know you and love you love about you, because they see this beautiful, soft, pink energy that you have at your core. And it means that, for your friends, for your family, for people that are close to you, you can be approached, they can talk to you, that they know that you care, that you'll do anything for them, you'll listen to them, you'll be there for them, because they have proved that they are trustworthy, and therefore you prove that you are a good friend, confidant, partner, mother to them. But people have to earn it, is what I'm saying, what I feel with the Queen of Swords energy. You're also very quick. I think you're a very quick thinker, and you're very quick in all the things you do. So, it doesn't take you long to pick up on ideas. Once you want to do something, it doesn't take you long to get it done. You are quick and determined, and that is another thing that I would say that people around you would describe you as being somebody who's very quick, very witty. You like to share a joke. You like to have witty conversation, and you often have a very quick reply, to all things, really. And people love that about you. They love being around you because you're actually very funny. Okay, so that is those two cards. Now let's have a look at some of your other cards to see where they might fit in. So I'm just going to lay them all out. So first of all, we have fulfillment. There's that one there. Then the colour ray that you have is apricot. Okay, you can see that, apricot. Okay. And then the three, I've got some 3 tarot cards here. So we have the Page of Pentacles. We have the 9 of Pentacles. And we have the Tower. Okay, so, right, let's just put these in order. Give me a minute. Right, okay. So what I'm seeing here is that you are, if your best friend was describing you, what they would say is that you definitely like the finer things in life. So you have worked hard probably in your life. You're in, like I say, you're in this position of authority, maybe a position of, you know, where you're in charge possibly. And also, you know, with the 9 of Pentacles and with anything to do with Pentacles, it's about building up material security and stability. And because you've got the 9 of Pentacles, I would say that if they were describing you, they would say, well, yeah, they definitely like the finer things in life. They like to be comfortable. They like to have a nice home. They like to have good things around, and they appreciate money and what money can do for them. They might have built up a bit of money, which means that they can, you know, that they can have a comfortable environment. And this is somebody that has a comfortable environment and that maybe has been lucky in some respects in terms of material wealth and, you know, getting what they, you know, getting everything they want materially. The Page of Pentacles shows that, you know, you've worked hard for it, that you also are someone that, even though you might be mature, you are never you are not somebody who doesn't stop learning. You know, you like to learn, you like to build on your knowledge, build on your skills. It's something that you value. You see yourself as a lifelong learner. And you might even be working on something right now, developing something new for yourself that you're hoping is going to benefit you more, again, materially and financially. So that's also something that you do. You're not afraid to put time and effort into it. You know that maybe it will take a little bit of time, but you know that it will materialize for you. You have that confidence that whatever you put your mind to, it will come to fruition. I would also say that you are family orientated. So as I said before with the pink ray, that you are someone who, you know, reserves their love and their softer emotions for the people that really matter, for the people that are really important. And this card is all about family as well, and family, you know, being comfortable with family, connecting with family and friends. Yeah, it's something that you enjoy, that you like spending time with family, and that this is something that is a place where you feel safe and comfortable and you can be yourself. So that's also what I think people would say about you. That's the 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, and that you've worked hard to create your, you know, your happiness, your material happiness, your wealth, and, you know, you enjoy it. You like enjoying it, absolutely. Yeah. So what I would say about the 2 cards here is that, and it kind of touches on what we were saying about the 9 of Pentacles. You know, the fulfillment card is somebody who is, yeah, like I say, fulfilled in their life. They are also always looking for things and situations and experiences that will help them to feel happier. And, you know, this is what you value. You know, you value feeling fulfilled, not just on the outside, but also on the inside. And this is something that you are maybe feeling right now, and then something that you work towards. It's about going and feeling comfortable in your life, really feeling comfortable with where you are. And I do feel that that's what they would describe you as now. You are fulfilled in many respects because you you know yourself internally, you know yourself externally, and you're comfortable with that balance. So you have that inner and outer fulfillment. And that's what this card is saying here as well. Also, the apricot, it goes a little bit with that peach there, doesn't it? So the apricot hue is about, you know, somebody again who likes to have fun. You know, you do have a fun side, you do have a creative side, you do like to connect in with that, and it gives you that fulfillment when you do, but it's maybe not something again that you show outwardly to everybody, but it's definitely a part of you. And it, you know, it just gives you again that kind of balance to your personality that your friends and family seeing you all the time. And that is what we have with the apricot hue. Yeah, okay, so that's all I'm going to say about those two. And then the last card we have for you is the Tower. Now, the Tower, what this tells me in terms of who you are is that you wouldn't hesitate to create change or upheaval in your life if it wasn't serving you. So if you felt that you weren't living according to your truth, if you felt like you weren't living an authentic life, if you felt like there was things in your life that weren't honest or corrupt, you'd have no hesitation in ripping that down, and creating yourself anew, because the most important thing to you is that you live a true and authentic life, and that people can trust you and that you're honest. And that's really important. And the Tower often talks about, you know, a situation crumbling sometimes because it is just, you know, it is kind of, it's maybe corrupt at its core, it needs to change, it's rotting away, it's something that has to be gotten rid of so that something better can replace it. And that's why this card is in your reading, I think, today, because you would not hesitate to do that. You would just kind of get rid of it all and start afresh if you felt that you know, you weren't being your best self. So that's, and then people, and that's how your friends would describe you. You know, you would make short shrift of anything that wasn't genuine or authentic. Okay, so that is your reading, pile number 1. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please press the like, please subscribe, and I will see you in your next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the second pile, which was the Page of Swords. I don't know if you can see him there, Page of Swords. And you chose the Aura-Soma Inspiration card that corresponds to the Page of Swords. I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of silvery, and there's a bit of kind of like a spiral. It's going round and round and round like that. And it kind of almost straight away reminds me of, I just get the word technology and the internet and processing and information and that kind of thing. So it goes very well with the Page of Swords, because let's talk about these 2 cards first. I'm just going to put those down here. So in your reading, which is about, today's reading is about what makes you you. Who are you? You know, if your best friend was describing you, what would they say? So the Page of Swords, and pages generally talk about giving information, receiving, downloading information. They're quick energies. They also talk about young people, students, that kind of thing. So if your friend was describing you, coupled with this card as well that looks like technology, I would say that you are someone who is very chatty, very communicative. You like to pass on messages, give messages, talk to your friends, be quite social. You love a good chat, you love a good conversation. You're also, but you know, you like a good chat which is you know, probably quite intellectual. You have a lot of knowledge that you like sharing, and you know, when you have a chat with you, you can tell often than not that you know quite a lot about a lot of things. You also you know, you might be a student, you like to study, you like to collect information, you like to organise information, you like to process information. So I would say that your friends, or if somebody who you love would have to describe you, they would say that you are very witty, you're very chatty, you like you know, you like nothing better to have a good kind of discussion, maybe a good debate. So you're, you know, you're very good with any kind of communication situation, which probably means you're very confident. So I think your friends would say, well, you're pretty confident, you're pretty sure of yourself, but you do a lot of research around whatever it is you're talking about. So that's why you know what you're talking about, because you take the time to research and to understand and to be clear with what you're going to say in any given arguments. You're great at debating, you're probably great at presenting, you're probably good in writing information down. Maybe, you know, you're probably great as a writer or a journalist or something where, you know, you are giving information. That is something that's very strong about you, and I think that that's what your friends who know you quite well, that's what they would say about you. And that you're very quick-witted. I think that's the thing, you're very, very quick-witted, because Page of Swords is often you know, quick off the mark with most things, and quick with their replies and quick with their responses. So you've got kind of like a quick agile energy, if you like. Okay, so let's put those down there. Now let's have a look at your other cards to see what other you know, personality traits you might have, what your friends, or you know, who you are. Let's see who you are. Pile number 2. So the colour we have is lavender. Interesting. So we've got lavender there. Okay. The oracle card we have is pleasure. Okay, it's a beautiful card actually. That's the pleasure card. And then we have the devil. Okay, can you see that there? The devil. Then we have temperance. That's interesting. The devil with temperance. Okay. And then last but not least, we have the Ace of Wands. Okay, so the Ace of Wands. Right. Okay, so straight away, what I'm seeing, and I want to go straight into these 2 cards, that it tells me that you are probably someone who maybe has one, either has kind of 2 extremes to their personality, in the sense that they love to live life to excess. So they love you know, going out, having a good time, you know, experimenting in lots of different ways, you know, maybe with, you know, they like overindulging. I think that's probably the best way of saying it. They like to overindulge and really live to excess, and sometimes maybe that goes a little bit too far, which is why you have these 2 people chained to that sort of devil energy, which is all about being kind of like in the control of our sort of urges, I suppose. So sometimes maybe you have a little bit of that aspect to your personality, but because you have the temperance, it says that you are able to, when you need to, pull back from that. So you're able to balance yourself out, because temperance is all about moderation and balance and making sure that you mix everything up to get the right balance. So it might be that, you go out, you have 3 nights on the row, you go to lots of parties, maybe you have a few too many drinks, you eat a bit too much food, you kind of really overindulge, and then you feel the effects of that. And then maybe for the next 2 or 3 weeks, you have to pull that in and rein that in and moderate that a bit. And I think that's something that's 2 different sides, if you like, to your personality, in a sense that you have the self-control. So at the end of the day, you have the self-control to pull yourself back from feeling trapped in a situation where you're being controlled by your urges and wanting that instant gratification. You do have that as an aspect of your personality, for sure. And if this temperance card wasn't here, I would say that was probably bigger than what it actually is. But because you've got this here, it shows me that actually you've got the control to be able to kind of balance yourself out when you need to. So that's kind of what those 2 cards are telling me about you. So that's what I mean by the 2 extremes to your personality. And I think the people around you would be able to see that, but essentially it's all good, because you can control your urges when you absolutely have to. And also because you've got the Devil card, and it's right next to the Pleasure card. So again, that says to me, that you love to go out and you love to have a good time and you like to party. And it also goes well with the Page of Swords, because you like to have a chat, you like to communicate, you like to connect with people socially. You're very much out there. I would say you're probably quite an extrovert character. You like to be, in many respects, the life and soul of the party, and to experience life according to the senses, as much as you possibly can. So you love to experience life through your sight, through sound, through taste, through touch. You really revel in that. And you like to have pleasurable experiences that give you that kind of high, if you like. You love that. And that makes, to me, that says that you are a sociable, fun-loving, outgoing, extrovert person who likes to live life to the full. And that's, I think, what your friends might describe you as. Also, you have the Ace of Wands here, which again is about somebody, or Wands is all about passion. It's about energy. Again, it's about ideas, somebody who has a lot of ideas. So I really see you, again, with the Page of Swords, is somebody who has a lot of ideas, a lot of creativity, a lot of projects on the go, a lot of things on the move all the time. You're constantly wanting to start new things. You have so many interests. And it's something that you're always doing. So you have what I see actually in this reading is somebody who's got a lot of high energy. There's a lot of high energy in this reading. Somebody who's really out there in the physical world, going at a pace all the time, and bringing lots of different things, maybe got lots of different balls up in the air going on all of the time, really. So that's kind of what I would say about the Ace of Wands. So you might actually also be starting something new. That's the other thing to say, pile number 2. You might be bringing in a new project as we speak, or a new, taking on something new, like a new beginning in some way, that's going to bring you a lot of happiness, and where you are showing a lot of passion and energy for that. Now, what I would say is, with the with the lavender, is that although you are very extrovert and very out there, and you're very much an ideas person, and you're bringing lots of projects into fruition, you've got a lot going on, everything's you've got a crazy, probably really active social life, very good work life. There is a side to you that is also either there already or certainly beginning to emerge, where you're going inward a little bit and you're connecting more to your spiritual journey or your spiritual path. And also lavender just tells me that, along with the Temperance card, that, maybe now your friends are beginning to see that you want to calm down a bit, you want to be a bit calmer, you want to be a bit more peaceful, you want to be a bit more connected to something which you can't necessarily hear, taste, touch or smell, and that's beginning to emerge in you, and they're loving that quieter, maybe more sedate, more reserved part of you that is just beginning to emerge. And it's certainly, I don't know if it's just beginning to emerge in that I think it's always been, what I'm trying to say is I think it's always been within you, and that you've always, because you've got the Temperance card, that you've always known how to bring yourself back into balance. But I think that spiritually you're beginning to move on a more kind of spiritual path. When we do that, we kind of naturally go inwards a little bit, because we want to connect in, and often we do, when we can do that better when we are, when we create a silent space, or space which is private or just for us, because then we can hear our intuition better, we can connect better with spirit. And I think that's what friends and maybe family and close ones, and maybe what you're probably beginning to realise as well about yourself, is that you have this very extrovert character, but you also have, and you're beginning to show and develop this inner side of you which is much calmer and more peaceful. So that's what I'm going to say about the lavender, I think. And I think that's probably, the end of your reading. It's been a pleasure to read for you pile number 2. If you have liked your reading, then please do subscribe to my channel so you know when the next video is going to be uploaded. Press the like button, comment, leave a comment. That's always great to hear. And I will see you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number 3, and welcome back to your reading. So you chose the Emperor. There we go. You chose the Emperor. Okay. And you also chose the Aura-Soma Inspiration card that corresponds to the Emperor. And I'm hoping you can see that beautiful colour, because it's a very strong yellow colour that obviously is associated with the solar plexus, the 3rd chakra, which is all about personal power, really, and confidence, which goes brilliantly with the Emperor, obviously. Okay, so let's start with your cards for today. So I'm just going to start, first of all, just like I have with the other piles, just talking about these cards that you've chosen initially, the Emperor now. And obviously this reading is all about, who are you? What would your best friend say about you? What would your friends say about you if they were to describe you? Well, with the Emperor card, what I've got here is somebody who is, I think they would say straight away that you're a bit of the boss, really. You're the absolute person who is in charge. In my mind, you're kind of above the kings in the tarot pack. You are tip top. So you're probably somebody who's at the top of their game, or certainly somebody who aspires to be at the top of their game, because you have an awful lot of ambition. In the exterior world, in the 3D world, you are a go-getter. You have a lot of confidence, you have a lot of ambition, and you definitely, if you're not already there, I think they would say that you definitely are climbing that ladder, and you want to be the best that you can be in your chosen field if you're not there already. So I think they would say you're super duper talented, you're super duper together, you are probably very, very settled and comfortable in your, like I say, in your 3D world. You've probably got a very good material set up. You're probably, you've probably built up quite a lot of, wealth and good fortune for yourself because you have worked so hard. You really do believe in working hard and, building things up for yourself and having a good. Obviously, the emperor is the archetypal father figure, so you represent all those kind of. You don't have to be male to get this card, but you represent that kind of energy of being a provider, a protector, somebody who, spends a lot of time making sure that their home life, their setup is, taken care of on a financial and material, in a financial and material sense. They put a lot of effort and time into providing. So I think that your friends or whoever it was that's describing you would definitely say, pile number 3 works very hard for themselves and for their family to make sure that they have a good life. That is really, really important for you, that materially, you are providing a great life and you are protecting all of those people around you that you love. So you're probably someone who, people look up to and also look to for maybe support and, in all senses of the word, reassurance, like I say, protection, security, stability. You could be in a position of authority, like I said, or certainly in charge. You might have a team of people under you. If you're not like that, you're probably maybe in a situation where you just naturally take on that role because, you just have those kinds of skills and abilities to do that. You're not someone who is necessarily showy with their affections or with their feelings. So that is private to you and you do not show that easily. And it's something that you keep inside, really, keep very much to yourself. So you don't, you're not out there pouring it out to kind of everybody, really. That's not to say that you don't have them. It's just that you have got good boundaries and you don't, it's not a world that you are readily, it's not something that you necessarily want to do all the time. So it's not that you don't have emotions, but you don't necessarily want to be there sharing your feelings all of the time. So that is the Emperor. Okay, there you are. So I'll look to see if there's anything else I want to say about that. No, okay, we'll leave it there like that for now. So let's have a look at your other cards. Let's bring it down a bit. Let's bring it in a bit so you can see it. Okay, so you have got the blue, and underneath it says activate your healing power. So there's blue there. You've got taking risks. Beautiful eagle flying in the sky there with this mountain top, taking risks. What was that one? Sorry, that. And you've got justice. Okay, yeah, justice makes sense. Justice. You've got 7 of Wands. Okay, yeah, okay, that definitely makes sense. 7 of Wands, justice, and then you've got the 6 of Pentacles. 6 of Pentacles. Okay. So, what I want to start off by saying is that if your friend, or if we're describing you, you are very generous. That's what's coming clearly here. You are a very generous person. So, if you have built up your security, your stability, your wealth, you don't have a problem sharing that, certainly your material gains, with others. You're very generous and caring in that respect. So although you might not be very open with your emotions, as I said, you certainly feel them and you are very caring. You care about others, you care about, and also because you've got the Justice card, you care about the injustices of the world, and that sometimes people, or not sometimes, for sure, there isn't fairness in the world, and you're very aware of that. That's something you know all too well, and you are not shy in coming forwards in helping people that are less fortunate than you, and you, because you value money a lot, and you know what it can do, you know how it can help people, help to balance their life out, help them to level up. You are happy to give what you can to make people's lives better and more comfortable, because at the end of the day, we've all got to live in the 3D world, so we need money to do that. And you're very well aware that by giving what you can, you'll be making other people's lives more comfortable, and that is really, really, really important to you. And that's why you have the Justice card, because actually what people would also say about you, as well as being generous, is that you're very fair. Although as the Emperor you might be quite firm sometimes, in the sense that when you decide you want to do something, then you're going to do it come hell or high water. And sometimes, people might think that there's a little bit of inflexibility there, and it's kind of my way or the highway. It has that kind of energy to it. But because you've got the Justice card, it leads me to feel that you are very, very fair. So that means that although you've got the Emperor energy, you can reflect and think, no, actually, maybe I'm wrong about that, and I need to just come clean and make this situation right. You can do that. You have the ability to be fair and be honest with yourself, and you'll admit, which doesn't always happen with the Emperor, but because you've got this card, you'll admit that you were wrong, and that you will do what needs to be done to change it, or to make the situation right, to balance it out, to make it fair. So that's also what people who know you very well will say. Yes, pile number 3 is a fair, just person who does have strong opinions, but can also admit when they're wrong. The other thing as well is, because you have the 7 of Wands, I should say, and it goes very well as well with the 6 of Pentacles, in that you can not only stand up for yourself, which you're very good at doing, so you can stand up for yourself, you can, you feel sure of yourself enough to express your opinions, and to know that, in most situations you will come out on top. You are able to do that, probably because you're guided by this strong sense of justice and fairness and integrity. And it also goes well with this, you're able to also stick up for the underdog. You're able to defend people who are less fortunate. There's a very strong sense of protecting people and looking after people in your reading. You are a real defender of the truth, and you will defend people who are not able to do it for themselves very well and very strongly, and everybody who knows you admires that about you, and that is who you are. You are that at your core. You are strong for yourself, and strong for the people that love you, but also strong for the people that you see in the world or in your community that are suffering, and you will look after them and protect them and do all you can to make their lives better. And that is something that is very admirable about you. Okay, well done, pile number 3. That is fantastic. I love to see that energy in anyone's reading. Now, what they would also say about you is that you haven't been frightened in your life to take risks, and that although you're in this very settled, safe place at the moment, you look like you've got it all. You don't mind taking a risk. You don't mind putting yourself out there and doing something different, whereas other people, taking a bit of a risky route, whereas other people maybe wouldn't do that. But you have the confidence. You have the confidence and the personal power to know that, in order to move on in life, sometimes you do have to take risks so that you don't have any regrets, so that you have tried all you can. Taking risks is a positive, is positive a lot of the time, because it moves us on. And if it doesn't work out, well, then we learn from it. And it's just all good. It's just all good feedback. So you don't mind taking a risk. You are happy to do that. And people see that as, if somebody were to describe you, therefore, you'd be described as courageous, full of courage. Full of courage to be able to do and go for, choices or options that wouldn't necessarily seem the most sensible, but you are able to do that. And people like that about you, because it makes you, like I say, it makes you adventurous, and it makes you courageous, and they love that. Now, what I would say as well, the blue, and underneath it says activate your healing power, and blue is obviously associated with the kind of the throat chakra. Also, it's obviously a very spiritual colour, the sixth chakra, the third eye, although that's indigo. But blue is also a calming colour. So what I would say is that you are a very calm person, and when people are around you, they feel calm. Now, again, it doesn't always necessarily go with the Emperor if you just had the Emperor on his own, because, again, it was just the Emperor on his own. Sometimes, that person can, although that they're very much in charge, and there's a lot of great qualities to the Emperor. Sometimes they are quite, they can be quite forceful in their views and in their opinions. But because you have the Emperor coupled with all this other stuff around justice, looking after people, it just makes me feel that you are, not only a very strong person, but you're very calm, and actually that adds to your strength. You've got an inner calm about you. You are peaceful. You don't like arguments. You don't like tension. You like to be in a calm space. And that sense of calm is, healing for a lot of people. That most people like to be in because you've got the justice here as well, the kind of balance card. Most people like to be in a balanced environment. They like to have a harmonious situation or environment around that, and that, and you emit a sense of calm, peaceful energy. And I think with this kind of eagle, I think it's an eagle that's flying here, I just get a sense that you are very, you're somebody who just feels free inside. I think that's how what I'm trying to say. You feel free inside. You feel calm. You feel free. You therefore don't impose restrictions and boundaries on others, which you may have done if you'd have just had the Emperor on its own. But you don't do that. You're very, you're easy to be around. You're flexible. You're calm. You're free. You have that kind of energy which people love to be around, and your friends and family love to be around. And because you are, because you're caring, so you have that healing quality to you as well, because you're caring and you care about others, and you're connected to that kind of a sort of divine. You're connected, I suppose, to your divine guidance and your kind of spirit and your soul, which I think is very healing. You could be a healer. You have healing qualities, really. Yeah, so that's kind of what I would say about you. So pile number 3, what fantastic qualities, and what a fantastic person you are. So if you have liked your reading, then please do hit the like button, subscribe so that you can be alerted to whenever I do my next reading. Leave a comment. It'd always be great to have your comments. And yeah, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye.